Yo, 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 we are live and in the building. In the building. Today we are discussing. Yo, it's my guy looking tanned and brown.
How you doing,
Yo,
bro? How you doing?
you are looking all kinds of different Indonesian, bro. That is mad.
I
You
just
spruced
froze it
up.
on me. I'm back. I'm back. One sec. One sec. Yes, 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 yes. I have
Nah,
definitely
you're not
improved.
looking that brown now. It's just the lighting. I'm taking it away from you.
Ah, ah,
Taking it away from you. I thought you'd gone a little bit brown. Did you catch a bit of sun when you were there?
mate. Saudi Arabia is hotter than Indonesia.
Swear.
Yeah, I thought it would be colder because geolocation-wise, it's
Mm.
further from the equator, but it's because it's you know the majority of Saudi Arabia is a desert.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think it's like 41 degrees, bro. It's over 40 degrees every day.
41.
Yeah,
Ugh,
I'm not a joke.
that is not a joke. That is ugh.
Listen, for all the Muslims out there who've never been to Mecca, never been on that Umrah or Hajj spiritual pilgrimage, yeah, it's not fun. It's enlightening. It's not fun. It is stress, mate. Walking around the Kaaba, which is that black square, it's not fun, mate. You be It's a 24-hour city that never sleeps as well. So it doesn't matter what time you go on a pilgrimage. If it's 1 a.m. in the morning, it's busy. 3 a.m. in the morning, 1 p.m. in the afternoon, doesn't matter, mate. You've just
Busy.
got hundreds of thousands of people just pushing you around, pushing you around. It is a lot of stress. And you don't get any signal. No signal. It's like carnival. What? Halal, obviously.
Yo, I've always wanted to do it, but obviously I'm not a Muslim, so I can't do it. So um
You're welcome to come to Medina, though.
yeah, I've been told I can come to Medina. That's the one that I'm meant to go fly to. But yeah, it's an experience. It's an experience. Well, the Power Rangers are all reassembling, guys. That are fans
Yes,
of
sir.
us, Blockchain Sensei. We are all assembling back, back to full strength. Not saying that we weren't at full strength, but yeah, we are back,
Leveling up.
leveling up, literally, no pun intended. Um, there is, yeah. But yeah, big things are going. Uh, big things are really going. So today's episode is something that I've been looking at for a while. And there's a couple of things in the world where the pieces of the puzzles are starting to come together in front of my eyes. Just like with the core scientific one, where the pieces were just too obvious. Just like with the meta play, the pieces were too obvious. Just like the NVIDIA play, the Tesla play, the pieces are too obvious. I now think I've seen a similar play with Unity. And when you look at the fundamentals of this company, and when you look at where the stock is, and when you look at what the developers are complaining about in comparison to how good the business is, I think this might be a silent creeper. I'm going to put it out there. My prediction is that by 2030, Unity will have a $1 trillion market cap.
What, and what's the market cap right now? Do you know?
Let's check. Let's check on the market cap. Unity market cap. Now, the reason for this, it's got a market cap right now of 13 billion.
So you think it can do let's do the X very quickly. 1,000 divided by 13. A 76X in the
Yep.
next 6.5 years.
Yep.
Mr. Harding said it.
It can definitely get to 100 billion. I'm very sure from there, once you get to that 100 billion level, as we've seen with Apple, it just becomes a bit of a myth. Like once you get past that 500 billion mark, you just keep going and it just gets ridiculous. like I remember when Apple first got to 1 trillion, and it was like, oh my god, it's $1 trillion company. Next thing you know, it's at 1.5 to 2.5. It's mad.
2.5. Yeah.
It just the compound effect of $1 trillion companies is weird. And then loads of other companies have started becoming $1 trillion companies. So I'm just like, And from that, do you remember when we did that thing and we looked at like what Warren Buffett had said about how in the 90s, or was it the early 80s, there was like loads of companies that were just getting into like the $10 billion territory, and people were like, oh my god, $1 billion market caps. And like none of those companies are still here now. And
Yeah,
then
that was in 1989, right? Japanese
yeah,
companies.
and all of those companies that were then, not one of them make it into even the top 10 for market cap now. So I'm like, okay, if the number one market cap right now is Apple, if history is to repeat itself, it would mean the future top 10 by 2040 would mean that things would be like 10 trillion.
There's going to be way more money in the world, isn't there?
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, well, that would mean that certain players would have positioned themselves to. I'm realizing, so it's about positioning yourself to own the infrastructure, not to be the end product, but to be the complete infrastructure. Like anyone that's in the dojo, you saw me put out a tweet, put out some information about Elon Musk and Starlink, and you'll see that the infrastructure play on that is insane. I'm not going to go into it too much on this because this is an NFT show, and that's also what I've put in the dojo stays in the dojo until we make it public. But yeah, let's get into the disclaimer. So it's pretty important for especially this episode. Okay, disclaimer. Oh yeah, Dom and Ninja, the secondary website has been done. So we need to check it out. Yeah.
So Alex Codling asks, how is the dojo entered?
How is the dojo entered? Once you have done paid lessons with Blockchain Sensei, or if you're one of our original OG students from the first year. So as soon as you've done paid lessons, you get into the dojo. The dojo is going to be closed at 30 members. We're now at 26. So there's space for 4 more members of the dojo. And then after that, it's going to become a paid thing to be in the dojo. So yeah, there's some pretty serious people in the dojo. Not by the way, in the dojo, not everyone that's paid for lessons with us gets into the dojo either.
Yeah,
So,
you have to prove that you're a sniper.
yeah.
We need proactive people in there, not reactive people. But yeah, we put a lot of alpha that we don't say publicly there first. And a lot of stuff in the dojo never ever goes anywhere else.
Yeah, that is the dojo. So disclaimer, all content is for education, information, and entertainment purposes only and should not be considered as investment advice or recommendation to buy, sell, hold any assets, or place any trades. Please do your own research. Our content is intended and should only be used for informational use. It is very important to do your own analysis before making any individual investment, which should be based on your own individual circumstances. You should always take independent professional advice from a professional advisor, or independent research and verify all and any information you may find on our show that you wish to rely upon, whether you wish to make an investment decision or otherwise. All investments come with what?
Risk.
Risk. As Tom said, please do your own what? Research. We are not financial advisors, do not intend to be perceived or received as financial advisors. However, we are working in collaboration with several top certified gunners financial advisors for billionaires is who we're working with. Yeah, so get it correct. So if you're unable to mitigate your risk, then please contact us immediately so we can refer you to one of these super well connected, super well accredited financial advisors.
You know what? I think we should change the disclaimer to several accredited financial advisors and financial accountants. We might have to update our disclaimer and say we are not financial advisors nor financial accountants, and do not intend to be perceived as received as financial advisors or accountants, because math is pretty good. And I've done a lot of maths.
Write that down in a notepad now.
Yeah. All right.
And then we need to also say that we are not accountable or do not take credit for
any wins or losses.
Yeah, wins or losses. Yeah. Based on decisions you make from seeing this show.
Wins or losses. Yeah, because I think it's getting a bit more serious, so the disclaimer needs to get just a little bit more serious. It's not like it's not serious, but I just feel that those extra words, we're not accountants. It tends to be perceived or received as accountants. However, we're in collaboration with several accredited financial advisors and accountants, and that we do not take any credit for any wins or losses.
So, oh, my laptop's not charging properly. This is weird. I don't need this right now in my life. So Crypto Boss, someone was just asking about the dojo. I don't know if you can speak. Oh no, you can't speak. Right. Anyway, let's get into.
You might be on a boat.
Yeah, you probably on a boat.
Yo.
Right. Oh, he's back. So yeah, we had a question about the dojo and the kind of value that goes in the dojo. Do you want to talk about what happens in the dojo a little bit?
The dojo is a magical place. That's all I'm gonna say, guys. Because no, the kind of content that you put in there, I don't see it. It's not, you don't put it on Twitter, you don't put it on Instagram. It's just kind of left within the group, and no one else kind of like puts it out there, which is good. So plus there's a lot of calls. There's if you're into trading, there's a lot of cold calls every day that I would say 90% of those calls hit. So far over the last 4 months I've been in the group.
Ninja just sipping the tea. I don't even know that was
so
intentional.
that's the gold trades, the info, and then you guys have a lot of events that you go to that you also share in the dojo where you're gonna be at before sharing it with the general public. So that's 3 things.
Yep. That's what it is. So obviously we've got to address that today ARM had their IPO. So we discussed ARM a while ago when we discussed what's his name? Not Satoshi. What's the guy, the Japanese guy that we like, who owns everything? Oh, what's his name? Is it Mayoshi-san? Yoshi.
We have a look. What is this fellow's name?
SoftBank, owner of SoftBank. What's his name? I thought we call him Yoshi. But I know him as Yoshi, but that's not his real.
Masayoshi Son.
Masayoshi Son, that's it. This guy. Well, he's just made some buck because ARM's just gone public. If you don't know about ARM, they're a British company that make microchips for mobile phones. Why am I mentioning them? Because of what we are about to look at. So, this is a company called Unity. You may not have heard of them before if you're not a dev. However, you have definitely used them and definitely seen something they make, whether you like it or not. Repeat, whether you like it or not, you have seen their assets. And we're going to get into that. So Unity originally made assets and made games for the iMac when everyone was playing games on the iPhone. Then they started making game on Windows, I mean. Then they started making games on mobile when everyone was playing on consoles. Now, funny enough, the world has now shifted, and the world is about to go into some heavy gaming on Apple devices, as we know with VR. And the world now, the majority of games are on mobile rather than consoles. And guess who makes the majority of the assets for these mobile games? Unity. Guess which studios use Unity? oh, just Activision, just EA, just 96% of the top 100 gaming studios use Unity. Now, additionally to this, you can see that it's not just games that they're in. So they work in game development. So they basically provide a no-code environment for people to build out their things on Unity. So that's what they do. So if you're a developer and you don't know how to code, you jump onto Unity and you can do everything. You can build everything on there. The grass is there for you, the motions there for you, the sounds are there for you, the footsteps are there for you. And then they've even got an asset library. If we go to that, we'll be able to see it. Asset store. So you can even buy assets for your game, such as footprints, voices, cars, vehicles, you name it, you can get them all on there. So one of the things that I like to look at when it comes to like how good of a company is the kind of partners that they've got. Let's see if they display some of their partners. Oh, look at that. They've got a few blockchain ones already. Aptos, Dapper Labs. So we can see that they have got a few Web3 partners. So does that suggest Web3 gaming coming along? Yes, because one of the things that they've done is they've allowed for NFTs to be made in Unity through a simple bit of code. So as we know, gaming is probably going to see the biggest adoption of NFTs because they're probably all of a sudden one day we're going to see that they're not going to be called NFTs anymore. They're just going to be called collectibles, in-game collectibles. So at the moment, there are 4 billion monthly downloads of Unity-made apps. I want you to just remember this key sentence. This is the key sentence. Nobody is actually getting what I'm saying. Why this is a gem.
Wait. So this means their users. Do you know the stat of how many Unity users there are? Because the human population is only 8 billion.
This is the interesting thing, because what they count as users is users of the assets, and that's crazy. Because how many assets are in a game?
I mean, if we just take RuneScape, for example, you've got a sword, you've got an axe, you've got shields,
The sound, everything.
Yeah.
So then what they've decided to do to make the numbers a little bit more quantifiable, they're now classing an asset, a user, as a download. So if you a unit, so the whole game is a user because the whole game has to use a bundle of their assets. So one game download or purchase is one user, which is very, very.
So by the word apps, they mean assets.
Yeah, because
Okay.
you have to think the game that's created. So it's multiple layered. So inside a game there's multiple assets, right? And then the game itself is the primary asset that's holding all these smaller assets. But the game itself is downloaded as an app, but that's the main asset. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
Yep. So on a monthly basis, there's 4 billion downloads of their apps because they have got such a monopoly on game devs making apps. So let's say I've got a list of some of the games that I'm gonna look at later. And then let's go on to the next one. But yeah, somebody write down the number 4 billion somewhere.
Okay, 4 billion.
Okay. So over 70% of the top 1,000 mobile games are made with Unity. Now, this is where it gets more interesting. Creators have earned over 1.1 billion through Unity ads. So not only does Unity make games, So they're not actually the game maker. They just provide the tools for the game makers. So the studios come to them and use their tools to make their games instead of doing it code by code, line by line, right? So they now, and remember, this company only went public in 2020. So obviously, most companies that go public, there's a 6-month downhill that they go through before they're worth investing in. So they've kind of got out of that phase, or we'll see when we look at their chart. Now, what they also have is an industry. Oh, wait, we're not there yet. Let's keep on the games bit. So what they also offer is services for games. So if you want to allow your game to be multiplayer and allow communication on your game, they handle all of that. If you want to allow for monetization on your game, they handle all of that. If you want to allow for advertising in your game, they handle all of that. So just like early Facebook ads and early Instagram ads, they do the same thing, but hyper targeted in-game ads to sell merch, accessories, and other assets. So inside their asset that's got multiple assets in it, they then target you and sell you other assets. Insane. So let's now imagine that there's a world where these assets now have exponential value and a secondary marketplace. Would the value of being able to target people with hyper-targeted ads in this space be very valuable to a lot of companies? Would they want to start using this ad system? Yes, because this is the exact same thing that happened with Facebook and Instagram when people started selling digital content, when people started selling ebooks and music and digital downloads. This is what allowed Facebook ads to just blow up, because it was just stupid, because people could just create something, bam, and then someone would buy it and download it. This is now going to happen, but not with content, but with assets that increase in value. So that's a little bit about the services side. The next side, which is just absolutely ridiculous, and is what I would call, like a fish hook, where once it's in, and you can't get it out. Unity is an interoperable platform. So you make an asset or a game on Unity, and it can work on 18 different platforms. So it can work on mobile, Apple, Android, PlayStation, Xbox.
This is unheard of, right?
Unheard of.
This is, it's coming like polka dot.
Yep, it is the polka dot of gaming.
Wow.
It wouldn't surprise me if Unity acquired Polkadot. Wouldn't surprise me, because they're both doing the same thing, but Unity is years ahead, but hasn't got the blockchain side yet. But what they've done is they already partnered and allow you to mint NFTs to multiple blockchains. So multiple blockchains and multiple gaming platforms, they are technically the most interoperable platform in the entire Web3 space. Nobody else can has the potential to distribute as many assets across as many platforms and as many blockchains as Unity. Think about that. I'm going to say that again. Nobody has the potential to be able to distribute as many assets over as many platforms and as many blockchains as Unity. So we got that one, yeah? Okay, cool. So, man like Dexter, what's good? I'm gonna do a quick deep rewind on Unity, because this is crazy game. So Unity is a platform that allows people to develop games, but it's not the games that you can develop with Unity. You don't need code. You just move things around on a screen. Now, where it gets even more deep is Unity don't actually make the games. What happens is they give this software and this tool to 96% of the major gaming studios that are out there. So basically, the whole gaming world is made off the back of what they do, apart from Fortnite and anything made by Epic and Unreal. So the Super and Grand Theft Auto and Call of Duty. But as we know, gaming is shifting from consoles to mobile. People are spending more time on mobiles. And that is Unity's speciality, because that's all they've ever done. They were doing mobile game development when no one was interested in mobile game development. Now, the key is this. 4 billion monthly downloads of Unity-made apps happen every month, which is going to be key when I get into why the devs are angry. We're going to get into this in a sec. So we said that they do the games. They also provide the services for the back end for you. If you want to have a multiplayer option, if you want to have a communication option, if you want to have in-game assets that you can sell and buy, they handle all of that for you. You just tell them you want it in your game and they'll sort it out for you. They also have an advertising tool that allows you to target ads at players to sell them other in-game assets. So it's a madness. Now, the next thing that they've done is they work in industry. So they help out with digital twins. They work in architecture, automotive, manufacturing, energy, aerospace, and retail. So architects are using Unity to build models of buildings. So we definitely mentioned digital twins. Digital twins are definitely metaverse. So they definitely do automotive. Audi, Toyota, using them. Volvo, using them. Okay, cool. So then what they also do, this is where it gets very interesting, is they also work in film. Now, has anyone seen a film called Avatar? Well, then you've seen some of the tools used by Unity. Now, a lot of people argue that Unity isn't as good as Unreal, but if you've seen Avatar, that was pretty damn good.
It was ahead of its time as well. When was the first Avatar? Let me just Google that.
They made the most recent Avatar was using.
Oh, the most recent one. Okay.
Yeah. Now, also the Lion King, that was pretty good. And also, anyone recognize this guy here? You must remember him. The guy with the click.
Yeah.
Man like Fano. Now, which company uses that? Well, which company owns that? Anyone know?
Unity? Is it Unity?
No. Who owns Marvel? Disney.
Oh, of course.
So these guys, basically, this was a film asset production company created by Peter Jackson that created Lord of the Rings and loads of other films. His company also created all the digital assets and all the visual effects in the Marvel franchise, the majority of them. So I don't know, but owning all the digital assets that belong to Marvel and Disney and to Avatar, that's pretty crazy. Especially if you then opened up a marketplace where you could sell them, especially if that marketplace for the in-film digital assets straight from the studio became NFTs. Interoperable NFTs. Are we seeing where we're going with this?
Yeah.
So that's not what they've done yet, but they're definitely in the position to do it quite easily. Okay, cool. So let's just run through some facts. So a fact is that in the gaming world, people are looking for, it's because of entertainment, right? That's why people play games. When they get home from work, they want to be entertained. Now, at the moment, people are entertained in a passive way, mainly. And that's through films and through music. Now, I read very interesting stats. The average price of a film at the moment is around $9, and it will last for around 2 hours. So that works out as £4.50 per hour of value, right? The next one is music, right? So the average album is about 11 hours, and you just sit there again, can't do anything, you can't interact with it. And it's about $11, but
Wait. The average album is 11 hours.
no,
That can't
the
be
average
true.
album is 1.25 hours.
All right, yeah.
So that works out as around £8.80 an hour you're paying for passive consumption. So you're not actually interacting, you're just paying to sit there and do nothing. Whereas gaming, the average price of a game is about $60, right? But how much playtime and how much time do you get out of that purchase? The average game is between 20 and 100 hours in comparison to 2 hours or 1.2 hours. So it actually works out that you're getting around £3 per hour or 0.5 per hour. So you're getting way more value for your money playing a game than you are from watching a film or from listening to an album. Now, here's the thing. Can an album have a game inside of it? No. Can a game have a music album inside of it? Yes.
Yeah.
Can a film have a game inside of it? Kind of. But can a game have a film inside of it? Yeah.
Yes.
You can go to the cinemas.
Oh my God, I've literally just thought. So what music art is going to be doing in the future is they'll be dropping albums or EPs that come with a game. And the only way you can listen to that EP or album is by playing the game.
Yep.
But it's
And
not done yet.
guess what you'll be able to do? Hyper target people. And it's in the billions rather than the millions.
Very right. Because if you just think about soundtracks for films, you know, that's the only place you can get that song. It's not usually on a artist's album. So you're kind of right, Ninja, when you're saying dropping EPs alongside films or making a certain amount of album for a whole series or a game. I like the way you just explained that as well, Michael, in terms of the only time they tried to do a game in a film was with, I think it was Saw. It was interactive.
And Bandersnatch, the Netflix one where it was kind of interactive.
Oh, that's the one on Netflix. Yeah, that's the only kind of one they tried to see it. So you're right. The other way around now, you know, you can watch a film in the metaverse, you can watch a film, then play a game, you know. So yeah, just wanted to quickly jump in there, but I'm fully attached.
Yeah, man. Now, the thing is about gaming, unlike films, is they're recession proof. Like completely recession proof. And they've proved that over multiple recessions. Because when people buy their money, they're not going to buy a film. They're going to buy a game because it's going to last them longer. The same thing for your kids. Are you going to buy your kids to keep them entertained over the 6 weeks holiday? One film, one album, or are you going to buy them a game?
I'm going to buy them a game.
There we go. So, some of the games that have become, because this platform is so easy to use, anyone ever heard of a game called Among Us that went completely viral? And it was like 2D animation. That was made using Unity. Pokemon Go, made using Unity. So these guys are positioning themselves for AR and VR. Now, when I say positioning themselves for AR and VR, guess who is their official partner for VR? Go on, someone type it in chat. Someone guess.
Who is their partner for VR?
Mm-hmm. Whose VR are they completely responsible for doing all of their VR and AR? Nope, not Nvidia, not Meta.
Unreal Engine. I mean,
Nope.
not Unreal. I mean, Meta.
Nope. Apple.
Apple.
No way.
I mean, no, Apple. Yeah, the Apple glasses.
Yep. They are responsible for all of their VR and AR.
And they're moving into another thing, though, right now. What's it called again? Where you can kind of feel that you're there in your memories. And I was gonna post it today. It was in the same thing that was in Minority Report.
And is this from Unity?
This is what the AR glasses is using. It's AR, VR, and then this thing. I forgot what it's called right this second.
Yeah, find it, put it in the chat.
Yeah, I find it, put it in the chat in a sec.
So yeah, in regards to, let's now go back a step, because this whole thing, you got to go back a step to go forward a step to realize how deep this situation is. So they are responsible for doing all the AR and VR for Apple, right? What asset library have they got? Disney.
Disney, yeah.
So on the Apple devices, you're going to be able to make games and play games and transfer Disney assets in-game. Now, because Disney's struggling, they need to make some peas. So is it likely that Disney NFTs are going to become available through Unity on Apple? And I'm so glad Cornell's joined us. I'm so glad. You know why this is so mad? I didn't ask him. I asked the universe. I kid you not. When I was reading this research, I was on the tube and I said, I pray that Cornell joins me when I do this webinar. And you've just appeared. And I'm just like,
You know what?
This is mad.
I was streaming this on IG Live though, and then he commented, and then I said jump in the Zoom.
Mad. Yeah, but still.
So there was a bit of initiative.
That play.
Can you
But
not
yeah,
hear me?
still.
So the reason why it's important that Cornell is here is Cornell works in recruitment, and Cornell works in specifically gaming recruitment and blockchain recruitment. Cornell, is it important for a game developer to be able to build on Unity?
Oh yeah, those are basics.
Basics, guys. Basics. You heard it there. No.
Although it does depend on like what kind of games you really intend on developing in the future. However, it would be crucial for you to have at least a basic understanding of how Unity works, and the general operations of it for sure.
So I'm going to drop some additional facts now about VR. VR has had a 46% growth over the last year. It's expected to carry on at between a 56 and 75% compound annual growth rate. Now, something interesting about VR that people don't know, do you know that the Meta headsets have sold more than the Xbox One?
Whoa.
Did you know that 60% of the top 100 mobile games are made using Unity? Did you know that 60% of all VR is made using Unity? Did you know 93% of the top 100 devs are customers of Unity?
93% of the top 100 devs.
Yeah.
Xavier, clip this up. That's our new clipper. Xavier, Jay Johnson, clip this up.
Clip down.
Clip this up.
Down. So
See me stats.
let's look into how they're making some of their money. So obviously they're making money when they're selling the assets in the marketplace for people to build their games. Now they also make money from the ads, from the advertising, when people run the ads and they buy the services and so on and so forth. Now they also make money, which they get a 30% cut of the asset library whenever any of the assets are purchased or resold, if you're reselling or doing whatever, then they get 30% of their revenue is from operations solutions. So this is allowing for people to have save data, item data, ads, sound files in their game. And then they get 10% of their revenue from partnerships. So this is where they've got a moat, because if you've built your game on Unity, can you leave?
Yes, but I mean, you can transfer it to different platforms. Is that what you mean by
It's
leave?
long, bro. They've got everything. They've got all your assets. They've got all your players' save files. They've got all the data. They've got all your ad sets. They've got all your sound files. They've got all your motions, everything. They've got your whole infrastructure for your whole game and whole business. They haven't got like tiny hooks inside your game. They are your game.
Yeah, because they own that infrastructure.
They don't even own a part of the infrastructure of your game. They own the entire
The
infrastructure.
entire infrastructure.
They've let you think that you're just using their tools, but they own you. The moment you got beef with Unity, that's you finished. So this is what the devs don't like. The devs don't like that there's not really an option for them to go anywhere else. Now, again, let's go to some of the facts. 8 out of 10 architects, engineering, design, automotive, and film companies use Unity. So the future of all film is going to be used via Unity. So let's keep going. So how else do they make money? Unity is free to use until you make 100K or more of revenue. And
That's
then
pretty fair.
they take 5%, which is pretty fair.
Pretty fair. Yeah.
In comparison to Apple just taking 30% of what you're making, that's pretty fair. Now, 25% of the sales of Unity sales are from non-gaming apps, which is pretty crazy. So just think about that again. 25% of the sales of Unity are from non-gaming apps. So that's medical companies, aerospace, so on and so forth. Now, where the big hoo-ha is, why the stock has dropped terribly, is because they released 2 things that happened. Number one is that in their ads that they do, the targeting, there was a bit of bad data. So it meant that the targeting of the ads wasn't as effective. So the stock has dropped 40%. So when stocks drop 40%, just like Meta did, we have to look at it and go, okay, so the stock has dropped 40%. Have the assets dropped 40%? Write this down. Write these questions down. Have the assets dropped 40%? Has the revenue dropped 40%? Has the margins dropped 40%? If those things have dropped 40%, then the company's not as valuable as it was. So that's justified. But if those things have actually increased whilst the stock price has gone down, then you're looking at a madly undervalued asset. You're looking at something where people are just madly overreacting and going, oh my God, I can't believe that's happened. Oh, it's rubbish. Are the users and the customers still there? That's the key question to ask. If it's gone down 40%, have the users gone up whilst the stock has gone down? Because then again, you've got an undervalued asset. So what they've now added, which is really pissing off the devs, is, I don't know if any of you used something like Monday.com or come across a concept where you pay for seats. So you pay for seats for your team, and then your team can come in and use the tools within your platform. What Unity have now done is, instead of doing it that way, they've now decided that they're going to charge 20% on every install and download of your game or program. So do you remember that number and the maths? Who's pulled it together? But who's put this maths together? Who's put this maths together? Because the math, when it starts mathing differently. And I'm going to leave it on this page until someone types it in the chat. And when you clock what I've clocked, 20% on every install and download.
How do I invest in this company here, bro? What's the stock, please? You get me?
Unity.
Just
So,
Unity.
yeah, this is Unity. So
You know.
bear in mind, there's 4 billion monthly downloads of Unity made apps. And they're now going to start charging 20. They're going to get 20% of that. Let's call it £1. That's 4 billion extra revenue a month. If it was £1. That's smoke. The moment that hits their earnings report, this thing's going to go whoosh. So now that we've gone over that, let's now go and look at this stock. Let's go and see, has it been underperforming or has it actually been doing all right? So
Talk to them, champ.
we always go investors relations. And then we go Unity. Fact. Can you still see my screen? Yeah, I've just gone
Yes,
to.
sir.
I'm gonna go to the TA on it first. Let's go to the TA on it first, and let's see what direction do we think Unity is right now on this announcement. No, that's not the right one. Don't get gassed. And remember, we go weekly first. Unity software.
It's still on this Google screen.
Is it on the Google screen? All right, let me stop sharing. Let me share. Okay. So this is Unity stock. Unity stock at one point was at $210. It is now at $39.
When was it $210? Or what date approximately?
November
that makes
21.
sense.
This was in 2021, but it's
Yeah,
dropped dramatically,
that's
to
in
be honest
line
with you, by
with-
like over 50% since launch date.
Now, this, when you look at this now and you reaction, if we go and look at these fundamentals, if the fundamentals are going forward and this stock has dropped the way that it has, this is dumb. This is a crazy overreaction. This is possibly one of the stupidest overreactions of a stock ever, potentially. So let's go and look at some of the fundamentals on Uni. We'll do it from here first rather than the earnings report. So earnings, they hit their target in Q3 2022. They missed their target in Q4 2022. So Q4 2022 was around here. And this is when everything started going down. But then we go to the next earnings. Did they beat their target? Yes. A surprise increase of 195%. The next earnings, did they beat the target? Yes. A surprise increase of 189%. So we're looking for things that are beating earnings. These guys aren't beating earnings. They're bending earnings over their lap and spanking it. So, income statement. Now, yes, please bear in mind, Unity isn't profitable. Please bear that in mind. Yet. But remember what happened the moment that Coinbase went slightly profitable. Remembers what happened when Tesla went profitable. Remembers what happened when Facebook went profitable. Boom. So let's look. Remember, we're looking are things getting better for the company whilst the stock price is going down? So we can see in Q4 2022, when the big dip happened, the revenue was 450 mil and the net income was 289 mil. So the 289 mil down, and their margins were 64%. The next earnings window, their revenue is 500 mil. So has it gone up? Yes. So is the company improving? Yes. Net income minus 253. It was 289. So they're making a bit more profit. Okay. The most recent earnings, revenue 533. So from that big reaction, they've gone up about 100 mil. But yet the stock is going down. Their net income is now minus 192 mil. So things are getting better. They're getting closer to profitability. But the Wall Street, the analysts are saying it's a buy. The technicals are saying it's a sell. So we can go a little bit deeper on these fundamentals. Look at this revenue. Okay, so to me, year on year, I don't know about you guys, but this looks like this company is growing.
What are the factors that affect the technicals?
Sentiment, mainly. Sentiment and big holders selling off. So we haven't done this in a long time, but all big people taking their profits. Now this normally happens after an IPO anyway, because you have to remember there is people that were invested in this in the seed stage, in the pre-seed stage, and in the Series A. So they got in at like $2. So being at $20 is crazy for them. Being at $200 is redonkulous for them. So of course they're going to take profit. So let's have a look at the kind of people that were involved in Unity. The kind of holders. So some people may argue, like Dominique has tried to argue then, that this isn't really about NFTs. I would highly disagree.
Wait, are you on the right page?
Yeah, I'm just loading it up right now. So the reason I'd highly disagree is because the majority of metaverses are built using what? Unity. The majority of NFTs in gaming are going to be built using what? Unity. Standard. So we're on Whale Wisdom. We're going to go Unity software. And we're going to try and see who's the biggest holders. Who's sitting inside this? You can see the market cap is 13 billion. You've heard me say it. I think this thing's going to go to 1 trillion market cap just because they're making money off every download, which is dumb. Yes.
Did you mention the threshold that will have to meet though? To pay for a download, the company which owns the game would have to have met two specific thresholds.
Yeah. So that hasn't been too clear when I've been trying to look into that. So I think what they're going to do is they're going to, again, wait until your revenue in a certain amount and then come for their money.
Yeah, it's at least, so the game would have had made at least 200K in the last 12 months and would have had to have at least 200K lifetime game installs. That's for the personal Unity. But if someone's using enterprise, which is technically the kind of companies that we're talking about, they would have had to made at least $1 million US in 12 months and 1 million lifetime game installs. And then following which then each install is essentially a paid service.
That makes sense.
Now that's a big factor.
It's a big factor, but you got to take into account how much downloads do some of these games get?
See, I mean, if it's Apple based, because that's obviously run on Unity, then there's games like Candy Crush and whatnot, and for example, what's it called, Clash of Clans. they've got easy over a mil lifetime game install. So those are the types of companies which will be paying per install of each person downloading that game for their phone.
But I think where the players is, there's going to be a whole new realm of a whole new category for installs of games, which is VR and AR.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree.
It's that whole new space. We are guaranteed that there is going to be games there that are going to, or not even games to remember, because they don't just do games. It's films, it's games, it's architecture, it's all of this stuff. Like, there's going to be over 1 million downloads on a couple of things.
Yeah, I think Unity is far more adapted for AR as well. So at this time, Unity will definitely go bonkers, far more likely than, for example, Unreal, because Unreal will outperform Unity when it comes to VR-based games.
But for AR, Unity's, they've got it. And you've got to think, not everyone's going to be able to get an Apple headset, but everyone has a mobile phone that's ready for AR right now. I would say it's harder to not be exposed to a Unity created asset than pretty much anything on the planet. Whether you like it or not, if you watch Netflix, you're looking at Unity based products, tools, and assets. If you play any game on your phone, you're probably looking at a Unity asset. So, who are the players inside? Oh, look at that. Vanguard sold off 860,000 shares. Silver Lake is number one in terms of their market value. They've got 1.5 billion sitting in this. Sequoia, what are the chances that Sequoia were in there? And look how much Sequoia sold off. Let's just do it by changes in shares from the last quarter.
You're still trading view, bro.
Sold off 9 million shares.
Wait a minute, am I on the same page as what man's meant to be on, bro?
You're still on trading view. Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh shit, I got 1 minute to a meeting as well. 1 sec.
There we go. Here we go. So OT 2020 APS, we don't know who they are, but they sold off 11 million shares. Sequoia, obviously, they're the world's biggest VC. They sold off 9 million shares. So do we think that Sequoia got their shares for the IPO price? Hell no. They got these shares for $2 and it probably less, probably 2 cents. And it went up to $200. Of course they're dumping. Of course. And again, another venture company, Viola. So we can see it's all of the early VCs have dumped, and some of even ARK dumped. That's crazy. But to be fair, it was at $200. So it makes complete sense. So that gives a bit of an understanding as to what happened there. So let's see the opposite way around. Is there people buying? Yeah, there is. There's a couple of call options on it though. Don't like that, but still, nonetheless. So yeah, that's the deep dive on Unity. I'm going to wrap that there and forever hold my peace. So anybody got any questions? No. Everyone's just like, yo, mad.
No, it's a good breakdown, bro. Good breakdown. You see it and jumping in on it. So.
Yeah, that's a good point of discussion, Mike.
I think people will be talking about this in about 2 years' time.
This could also have massive implications for them because, as you mentioned, devs are not quite particularly happy with Unity as it is. With the introduction of fees per install, there might be some runners up. There's been talks about coming up new engines which might replace the likes of Unity. Unreal Engine is not going to be likely at this time, but because they've been on the flip side coming down a little bit, you never know, some new emerging competitors might pop out of nowhere in 2024.
I think there is definitely space for a third place dev tool, but
For sure, because it's a little bit of a monopoly still.
Yeah, it's complete monopoly. It's Unreal and Unity. That's it. It's the same thing as App Store and Play Store. Those are your only two options.
That's what I was just about to say. It's the same as Apple's App Store and that, isn't
it? Yeah. You ain't got nowhere else to go.
No.
So this is where I'm thinking, even if a competitor does come into the space, I don't think Apple's gonna like it.
No.
Apple
That's why they've been going cool so much, innit? Because every time someone does come into space, they just bully them and monopolize them.
Yep. They'll either
Apple's got too strong a tie to Unity, but you never know. Maybe like the Google Pixel phones and that, Google could do something else that's outside of the Play Store because they've just got so many hands tied in with so many different ventures.
But then Google's reliant on Unity as well.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, of course it is. Yeah. But then again, they could always just deviate from it.
It's interesting
because Apple's got they've got a stronger foot inside of it than
Apple definitely can't leave at all now. But I think Google, but I think it's more of an acquisition play. I think what will happen is because this is too powerful of a tool, it'll get taken off Unity and someone else will buy it. If Meta buy it, crazy. If Nvidia buy it, crazy. And these companies can buy it because they've got basically $1 trillion market caps, and this thing's only $11 billion.
Wait, can I just put $11 billion in perspective? Share your screen or make me co-host, whichever. And let's have a look how much is invested in Dogecoin.
Yeah, that's actually crazy when you pull it like that.
Yeah, because I think Dogecoin has about
than Unity.
Is about 11 billion or something like that. Let's just check. Okay, let's just
Dogecoin doesn't create anywhere near the amount of value that Unity does.
Right, so coinmarketcap.com. Okay, there is $8.7 billion invested in Dogecoin.
That's mad.
Right now.
That's actually disgraceful.
That is so bad.
The maximum that's ever been invested in Dogecoin is I can't get my finger on it. 1 second. Oh. 82 billion.
Oh my god. 8 times value of Unity.
I would go as far as Unity's value is over 200x as Dogecoin.
Easily.
Like
the value Unity is offering to the world, like business 101, provide solutions to problems. Unity is everyone's solution for everything. So this is why I think it's 1 trillion. And this is why I think I don't see it staying here. I'll tell you who I do see buying it. Disney. Because if Disney buy Unity, then they're in.
Why have they not been bought by Apple? Apple got enough cash to buy it today.
Yeah, because it would be a monopoly.
Right. Is it like international laws against that or something? Is that why?
If Apple buy Unity, you're paying them 30% on every asset that's transferred, and then you're paying them for every asset that's created and controlled, and then they just control everything visual. They would then run the entire film industry, because most of the film industry is going to rely on Weta tools for everything they're doing. So it's a mad monopoly. So I think whoever does try to acquire them because I don't see this company staying. It's too good of a gem. I can't see it staying public.
It will likely be the film industry for sure. Did you guys hear about all those actors walking out because of AI being rolled out to replace them in CGI?
Yep, and guess what CGI tool that is?
Unity. Yeah, Nvidia will have a stake of the pie in there as well. They're also good to bring up.
Definitely. So me personally, I'm gonna be investing a bit tomorrow. I'm gonna make that public. I'm doing that. I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is. But
Wait, I'm investing too, so don't worry about that. I'm good.
brothers in the Unity race, because I think like every now and again I discover something like this, and it's my duty to share it. But this one, the monopoly is just strong. It's just mad. But yeah, let me go around the room and get feedback. Alex, what you saying, broski? What's the highlight of this
Hello,
episode?
mate, you all right? You good?
Yeah, man, all good. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. This is off topic, but
Well,
I have potentially got the opportunity to have a Bloomberg terminal for a month. Now, I don't know whether you've had much experience using Bloomberg terminals or could point me in the right direction of someone that has, that I could maybe learn a couple bits of whilst I've got it.
Debs from Stock Pickers Academy. 100%. He used to use Bloomberg he managed 10 billion of funds at Goldman. He literally eat, breathed, and slept off of Bloomberg terminal.
Perfect.
So yeah, Ninja, can you do that? Can you hook that connect up?
Yeah. Alex, you got my WhatsApp, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. All right, cool.
I'll drop you a message quick.
Yeah,
Sweet.
Definitely. I'll message you straight after this.
Sweet. Back on
Cheers.
topic. What did you learn? What did you take away from today?
That is severely undervalued. And if I might be able to get this terminal within the next week or two. So first thing I'll be doing is probably putting Unity into it, see what it pops out.
Very nice. Very nice. Please share.
I will do.
Thank you. Next, Crypto Boss. What you saying, Broski?
4 billion monthly downloads. My
Yeah,
big
it's
take.
mad, isn't it?
There's much more, but I'm just gonna,
Yep, that's the key sentence.
just gonna leave it there.
Yep. Park that one right there. Thank you, brother. Dexter, what was your key takeaway or key bit of value that you got from this episode? Oh, if he's there, I know he's a bit busy. No worries. The Bem, you still there?
Yeah, still there. Yeah, still there.
Yeah. What did you take away from today's episode? What did you learn? What was your favorite bit?
No, what was my favorite part? Like the advertisement, like the way you can generate like income through the advertising, and then the whole like coding side of things. The fact that they're very supportive, and the fact that they can offer solutions. So even for people who are not experienced coders or who are still learning how to code, like it's given like an incentive for people to develop, and like put their ideas, put their like projects out there. And I feel like this organization have all the mechanisms and the support. Like they've got the support, they've got the framework and the structure to help to support developers. And yeah, it's like a no-brainer for like people who are aspiring to become developers or developers in this space. So yeah, that's what I've learned, literally.
And now that you've just said that, I've just realized Microsoft might get away with requiring them. Might, but we'll see. Next, Cornell, thank you for joining us. I'm definitely gonna do a bit more deeper diving into this. And I'd love to talk to some devs about it, some gaming devs. And I want to take this time out to officially say Greenwich University would love to have you involved in their next gaming workshop if you're available. I'll get some additional info over to you. and we're probably going to have to discuss Unity.
Yes, Unity is a massive topic. I think also, whilst the metaverse space is still very much reliant on Unity because it's got, lower capabilities, that's where the advertising space will be. So, Unity and advertisements go hand in hand. So yeah, they're definitely one to keep an eye out on.
Have you ever met anyone that does the Unity ads, or is that like a job role yet? Like how you got like a Facebook ad manager. Is there like a Unity ad manager job role yet? Does that exist?
A lot of the times they have third-party companies just doing the ads because it will just be media content generated into the game itself. So there'll be a person that bridging that in between. So they might have a job role, but it won't be specific to that. It will just be someone who has the skills to do it.
Okay. So
it's dependent on the game really, and what relationship that those developers of that game have with either one of those advertising companies. But usually they'll just outsource like a third party company to do it.
It's definitely not like a popular, well-known job though, is it?
I think no. I think it's gonna change in its entirety when advertisements become a lot more personalized and interactive, because at the moment they pop up as just banners or take up your entire space whilst you're waiting for, like, I don't know, the next match or whatever it is. But that's going to change entirely when you're walking within, I don't know, a metaverse space. I was playing this metaverse MVP recently that I got hands on, and there was like banners in there as though you're walking with your avatar and you were looking around, and the banners were changing, but they were adverts. At that time, they were just stock adverts, so they weren't real ones. But they were looking at implementing actual advertisement companies into the game.
Mad, crazy. Yeah, that's. I think the advertising and the Apple VR headset just go hand in hand.
What's good about it is it's like you'll be walking down the street once they're, I don't know, operational in a way where you can just walk about on the streets with them. I think the first set is not really that handy. It's a little bit heavy from what I know. So it's not exactly ideal to take out the hose. Besides, if you pay like $3,000 on that computer, you are not taking it out. You're gonna get mugged straight up.
Get jacked.
Yeah, easy. But when they become a little bit more lightweight, whatever, you'll be walking around the streets and you just see adverts popping up everywhere.
Yeah, it's gonna be mad. Yeah, I think maybe the ad play with digital assets is gonna be in like 3-4 years time. Yeah, interesting. So any young people watching this, start learning Unity ads and 3D modeling on Unity. I think it might pay. It might be a quite a niche thing. I can definitely imagine Louis Vuitton and stuff using that. Definitely. But yeah, thanks, Cornell. And last but not least, man that's here to make a difference, Mr. Youssef. What's good, King?
Yusuf has been here the whole time. I didn't know he was in here.
My key takeaway is to get on the investment train quick. Well, hey. And then last but not least, in the background, Dom, you was looking at the coding side of Unity. Any feedback, anything you learned?
Just how they're working with like Web3 to integrate it into NFT gaming. I think it's really interesting that when you build your game, you can literally like build it so that if someone buys your NFT collection on OpenSea, they can use let's say you have a collection of avatars, you can build your game so the NFT avatar is like playable or as an addition in your game. That's like devs can do that.
It's like actionable
on
assets,
Unity, yeah,
rather than just like fixed assets that don't do anything.
Yeah, so it's really cool how and anyone can do that.
Yeah, from what we've seen, it wasn't that hard to do.
If you know, like, if you have some knowledge about building games and you already dabble in it, I think it's very doable.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, that's wrap. And then last but not least, man like Ninja.
Yo,
Close
let me
the
just say
episode.
it straight. I am not a gamer, but I do understand the value and impact of gaming and how important it is to people in this world. I am a complete student of what Mr. Harding just taught. As much as everybody else, all that information is super fresh to me. I'm super fresh from Saudi, so I've been not on the markets for the past 2 weeks, pretty much. So that was a lot of great information. I'm not invested in Unity. I will definitely look for a sniper price. And also, can I just iterate that Alex Codling, aka Financial Navigator, just through attending this webinar and saying he has an opportunity with regards to Bloomberg. I've got a meeting with him tomorrow, 8 a.m. UK time, so literally in 11 hours today. And upon the meeting with Alex, I'm going to link him with our ex-Goldman Sachs Connect Debs, which just comes to show this is why you should pull up live, guys. This is the difference between watching the replay, because I know a lot of people watch the replay and they don't come in live. So that's a live lesson. And everybody literally just saw a business deal happen live on Zoom, just by inquiring. And now the meeting's been booked. So
We do
Alex,
that.
look forward to speaking to you. And thank you for the information as always, Mr. Harding.
Bless, 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 bless. Catch you in a bit, guys. Bye, bye, bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.